Hi YouTube! So this is my Bout of Books 8.0 wrap up. Unfortunately, I did not finish any of the books that were previously on my list, and I only finished one that I had already started and was not on my list. This book is Alcestis by Catherine Bautner. I will probably do a review of this. I have not reviewed it on my Goodreads so that I would have some time to think of it. It was very fast paced and very enjoyable, but it was realistic in the sense that there are some characters which you do not know whether you should love them or hate them. You just know that they're there and they're imperfect. One of them is a goddess, but she's not nice, and yes, but I will do a review of this because I have so much to talk about, and I will probably do some more reviews of previous books which I have read because I had no time, but in this week I will have some time, so I will do that. I started reading The Analects by Confucius. This was on my list, and I read 32 pages of it. This is the kind of book that is misleading because it's short. You think that it's easy to go through, and I shouldn't have known because it's a philosophy book. And the shorter they are, the harder the ideas are to grasp because this much of an idea is put into this much of a book. Whereas if it had been thick, it would have been this much of an idea into this much of a book or something like that. This is the all chapters I divided into topics, and there are like words of wisdom or his opinions or his disciples' opinions, that is Confucius, um, on that topic. And I'm planning to read this really truly, so I will read a chapter or two per day. I will not rush, and I will try to absorb because this is the kind of book which you need to think on after reading, so I will not rush. I also started the Iliad by Homer. This was not on my to be read list, but I had two copies had because I have another one now. Yes, I will tell you about that later. Um, and it's just where I sleep. So when I wake up, I see the shelf with the Iliad, and I want to read it. And I know that it's thick, and that's what deterred me. But I will go through it. Also, the language is a kind of archaic, and I'm used to it in shorter poetry, not in such an epic poem. But I will try. I really want to go through it, so I will. And I only read 6 pages of it. Yeah, but at least that's 6 pages less. And it's also the kind of thing which you have to see the context it's written in, so you have to read further and you have to see what exactly Homer is trying to say. So I will also take my time with it, but hopefully by the end of the summer I would have read this. Now this is mass paperback. That means the size is small and it's also very thick. So just yesterday, I found this copy by Stephen Mitchell. Just look at it. It's gorgeous. And yes, I have read a bit on Stephen Mitchell, and he seems to have done quite a few translations, and the notes were quite good. It's um, bigger and thinner than this one, but I still want, because I started because usually I write if I'm studying something remotely academic, and even if not, I underline with pencil what I like, what I think, my guesses. I write on a pencil. So I started writing on this, so I will read this. But maybe after I read this, I will read this and compare the translations. I also have a third copy of the Iliad in Maltese, so hopefully someday I will also read it. Hi. So as you can see, I got changed. Well, it's another day because my camera batteries ran out. I need to buy new ones because they're old and so they run out quickly. Anyway, the last book which I started was Morning Rising by Samantha Boyette. This is a new lesbian YA ebook, and it's short as well. It's also cheap, and from what I'm reading, it's also very interesting. Um, so a bit about it. I only read the first chapter, which is 8 pages. So yeah, I haven't read a lot, but it changes quickly. It's very fast paced. It goes from having a contemporary feel to having some fantasy elements, which reading the synopsis I should have guessed, but I actually didn't, and it was a pleasant surprise. I have been meaning to read some fantasy. Since the Bout of books has ended, I started The Will of the Empress by Tamora Pierce, and that is fantasy. So yeah, these will I think go very well hand in hand. These two books. It's basically about this girl, Kara, and she's having a bit of a rough time, and she meets this other girl, Dylan, and then there's a time lapse, and basically Kara forgot, at least she knew that she forgot months of events, and she doesn't know what happened, and she wakes up in this strange place, and there are these two creatures bringing in the fantasy element, and basically there's this guy or girl, but I think it's this character which you do not know if it's a bad or a good character, but you know that they're powerful, and she's obviously mad, and she wants to meet them to know what happened to her and to this other girl, Dylan, because she can't, even though it was months before, she can't forget about her, and that's basically where I ended up my reading. Um, I will do a review of this since it's new, and as I said before, I will also review, I think, Fire from Heaven and Alkistis. I could also do some other reviews. These are books which were really intense to read, and yeah, I think that they would benefit from having more exposure as well as more reviews out there because there aren't a lot of reviews of those, at least on BookTube. So for now, yeah, you can see that I did not read a lot, but I had my reasons, and that's okay. I will endeavor to read more in these days. So for now, bye, and hopefully I will have more videos up soon. Bye!